Hello and welcome to the video for Monday, July 27th. I'm going to go ahead and open up the waiting room so everybody can get in.
Hey.
Hello.
Weekend.
Can I have like 5 more minutes? Just like turn the clock back 5 more minutes.
And why is that?
Just cause.
Okay, sure. No problem.
Sweet. I'll be back in like 5 minutes, totally.
Okay. I'll be here. Totally.
Kim, you're taking off? You like just showed up and you're taking off?
Yeah, that's the plan the whole time.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm going to stay, and then when Kim comes back, I'll leave. And then when she leaves, and then you want to do that all day, Kim?
Yeah, there we go. Problem solved.
Because two like objects should not be in the same space at the same time. It's a physics thing.
What if Kim floats off into space though?
I'd be fine with that.
That's since I'm gonna get home back. I point Luke.
Just stay low, Kim. I have a fear of heights.
So Kim, how's the lunar colony?
How's the what?
The lunar colony.
It's great. I love it here.
The Wi-Fi better?
Nah, not so much. It's about the same.
Do you think that in your lifetimes there will be commercial space flights to the moon?
I'd hope so.
Probably. The rate that everything's changing right now, I would think so.
I did a dream about that.
What do you guys think would be more
Sure.
effective? Like an elevator to space, or like just a bunch of individual like rockets?
I think
One
only the
giant
rich
elevator.
and famous will be able to go to space commercially.
Oh yeah, obviously. I'm sure the elites are gonna be there. Which, if all the elites do go to the moon, isn't that a bit better for us?
I'm just wondering, it takes me a while just to get up Blackett's Ridge. I wonder how long it would take me to walk to the moon.
You guys, I have the solution. I had a dream about this, so it's like prophecy. And it was like a slide, but it was like a reverse slide. And everyone was wearing these like floating objects. So we all like floated our way to space. And that's the solution.
Sweet.
Like a
You
river
have
to the
paint
moon.
that, you know, you gotta have to draw that just so we can see 100% what you're thinking of.
I'll make
Like
my
a great idea.
infographic chat.
In your
Graphic
dream, did
on how to
anyone
get
get to come back?
No, everyone kept messing it up, so we all had to restart like 3 times.
One-way trip.
See, I think that'd be great. What if it were illegal to carry large helium balloons and you could just attach them to people you didn't like and make them float away?
Like a photon, you know, you just attach one of those big balloons, sends them flying.
Okay. I don't know if any of you guys had this, but did any of you guys have this sort of wish as a little kid that you could actually get a big enough helium balloon and grab onto it and float away? Anybody ever want to do that?
I remember jumping off my bed with a plastic bag to see if it actually slowed me down.
Parachute.
Yeah,
I
like a
remember doing
parachute.
that too.
When was
I
that,
get
this morning?
I would get on my
know.
on a double decker bed, and then I just jump on the first one with a bag and just see if it will stop me or make at least a slower. It didn't. The bag just whipped.
Oh, yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that
Good
sucks.
thing you guys started slow and didn't like try it off a cliff first run through.
I think if there were one evolution of humankind that we'd all be down with, it would be flying, right?
I mean, yeah, but let's think, how would that be possible?
Only if it's like hovercraft, like dragonflies, hovercrafts, helicopters, where you can, kind of.
Like I thought of something about hover. Would hovercrafts be more dangerous than wheels? Because if you think about it, so you know how in hovering it's like pushing. It has a force that's pushing down, so the
Yeah.
object sticks up.
Yeah.
So if you're under it and it goes, and let's say it lands over you, wouldn't it just squish you? Like more squish? You'll be more squished with a hover car than wheels.
Interesting.
In a
Maybe.
sci-fi setting.
I don't have my glasses.
Oh,
In a
that's why I'm-
sci-fi setting that I've kind of
Go get those.
read about, that apparently in that setting, hovercraft have the unfortunate side effect that if there's a sandstorm, they apparently just go all over the place.
Just look up quantum locking, guys. Quantum locking.
Is
Okay.
it flopping?
Quantum
Locking?
locking? Yeah, LOCKING.
Oh, locking. Okay.
Yeah, quantum locking. That should be the physics behind it.
Oh, that's why we were making space jokes. I've been trying for ages to get this to work, and now it works.
Oh, you haven't noticed?
No, I just noticed. I haven't been looking at this at all. I've been everywhere but here.
Well, thanks for
How-
playing along, regardless of having any clue why.
Yeah, that's what
Listen,
was
I just
thinking.
love space, so of course I'm just gonna go along with it. Also, these made everything worse. I can't see in one way or another.
I think the backgrounds are cool. The only thing that's a little disturbing is when people move, parts of them disappear. Have you noticed
It's
that?
fine. It's fine.
Do
Oh,
it
hang
again.
on.
You didn't need that arm anyway. You don't
Yeah,
need-
I don't need the rest of my fingers.
Oh, yeah.
This
I
is
see
just
that.
the hand I draw with. It'd work better if I had a green screen, but I don't. And I don't think Nana would let me paint the wall green.
Right.
You just had to get a green fabric.
Fabric's
Why
expensive.
is it that the color green? Like that's the color that will allow you to
The-
have some artificial
No,
background.
This is why, because I played with some green screen. There's usually two. You got blue and you got green. But the thing about why green is usually used, who really wears green? So it has to be this bright green, so you can eliminate it, because the thing that the software can do is that you can eliminate one color. So you have to choose your color wisely, and the color that hardly appears in anything is that green color that they use for green
Okay.
screen. It's like a bright green, so you can just eliminate it like easily because it's hardly no one uses it.
Interesting.
Aliens use it.
That they will have to use a blue screen.
So Kim, did you have a chance to put your presentation together?
Oh, yeah. And then I found out one of the slides didn't save with the words on there. So I'm adding those on real quick.
Okay.
And by that, I mean I'm adding one bullet point and I'll just talk about the rest of it.
So how long do you need?
Like 30 seconds.
Okay.
29, 28, no pressure.
Thank you.
Some very literal people in the class. Well, okay. While Kim is taking her 30-second break, let me show you guys a little article that I think is kind of cool. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay, so you know how we've been talking about masks? You know, I gave you that assignment to design masks and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, here's an article that's on the New York Times today. It says we'll be wearing masks for a while. Why not make them nice? And let me make this a little smaller so you guys can see it all.
At first, one is very concerning.
Yeah, it is. It's a little creepy, huh?
No, I'm like saying no, not because it's creepy, because there's too much openings. Like most definitely, germs can get out of those holes.
Oh well, there's probably a filter in there.
I can see the filter if you look kind of at an angle.
And there's a bit of white inside.
But this article, if you get a chance to check it out, they talk about how, you know, since masks are going to be with us, all of these, you know, the fashion industry and other players have gone ahead full bore to make masks that are really cool. You know, why not make them fashion accessories, right? Check out this mask that this woman is wearing, and look at the design of it on the table here. What they are, they're these masks that you can wear, and we'll see another picture of it a little lower down, but you can almost wear it, almost like, I don't know the official name for it. It's like a necklace, but it kind of hangs down all the way in front of you. And then you can put it up as a mask. Here, let me go down so you can see. See that? Isn't that a cool idea?
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes this very sort of elegant accessory that then you can use as a mask, and it looks like it's made of pearl.
Yeah.
But
They had some that were like scarves like that they would just look like a drapey scarf, but then it pulled up.
yeah, that's very clever, I think. And then, you know, the article is worth looking at, but there's only one more picture that I thought, well, a couple of pictures. This is an interesting mask that comes with a mobile phone application. I don't know what it does because I haven't read the whole article, but it's probably worth looking into. The other thing I want to point out was this, which is this great rack of masks, I think, which might be in Tokyo, and just look how fun they are, you know, like, and everybody can wear them, kids and adults. It's like Halloween can be all year round, right? So anyway, if you're interested in this type of thing, here's some cool looking decorative masks. Maybe check out this article and see what's happening.
Can you go back up to that last one real quick just for a minute? I want to look at something. The one where they're on the table. Yeah, right there. Just a second. Okay, because I got my stuff from Redbubble and I had to send it back and had white splotches along the edges. I don't know why.
Okay. Anyway, if you get a chance, check that out. Interesting stuff. Okay, so what do you say, Kim? Are we ready for Kimness?
Yes, I was going through, make sure nothing's disappearing on me. We're good.
All right,
We
now,
are all set.
are you going to share your screen or do you want me to share it?
I can share my screen. You can share.
Go
Doesn't
ahead.
matter.
You share.
I'm in charge of it. A horrible decision, really.
It's your universe.
That's not a good.
Kim
That's not a good thing.
You chose the right
No.
background.
Thank you.
Today.
There we go. Okay, perfect. So I did mine on character design, and I'm going to focus a bit more on the animation point because that's what I'm going into, and that's what I've dealt a lot with. If I can stop cutting my nails on stuff. Okay, so colors are very important because they tell a whole bunch about your characters just by the few shades that you pick. For example, if you pick a very bright yellow, it's often really happy and good and all that fun stuff. While if you pick a very muted, yucky yellow, it can show, hey, this person is kind of extremely sick. Please take them to the hospital. And often you can tell if they're going to be like a good guy or a bad guy or that in between. So of the two character palettes here that I took last second, if I can move everyone. There we go. Okay. So of the two, and from their character designs, you can tell that the one on the left is mainly the villain, while the one on the right is a hero. You could tell the different contrast between, for example, the bright red and the kind of the duller red that's on the villain side. And also the bright yellows and blues. However, you can very easily switch up these ideas and create very interesting characters. So on the next slide, you can see he's the hero dressed in all black and red, which you'd never expect. While on the right, she's the villain, and she's in these bright colors. So then with colors and details, you can't have too many. That is the thing. You can have too much of a good thing. The more colors that you have and the brighter they are, the more they hurt your eyes. I hurt my eyes so much going through finding examples of this. And also with the more details, you make everything a lot more convoluted. It's harder to keep track of what's what as you're animating, as I found while I was animating certain scenes. I lost track of, hey, this goes here, this goes here. It's very hard, especially when you have a whole team. Eventually, those details are gonna drop. One of the techniques that we did in my last semester classes is that we took one of our characters and we drew them 30 times for about 10 minutes. And throughout that time, I went from extremely detailed to almost no details while keeping the main character looking how he is. So keeping that in mind, silhouettes are also very important. It helps people recognize your character throughout a crowd. But once again, the more complicated your character is, it's going to be a lot harder to tell the silhouettes. So on the next slide here, obviously we can tell who the first two are. But while looking at the second two, you have absolutely no clue what this is. So then here are some examples of horrible character design. And yes, the one in the middle, bottom middle, was actually used, and the top left were used to help show off, hey, these aren't exactly the best character designs, because as you can see, you have a whole bunch of contrasting colors. It hurts your eyes to look at. And then if we look, the top right-hand corner, that was one of the original designs I had for one of my characters. Very bad. I hate looking at this even now. So then on the opposite spectrum, here are better character designs. While some of them do still have a lot of detail, it's a lot easier to keep track of because it's in very specific locations, while the others are kind of plain, if that makes sense. And I finally redrew her and I made her look better. While there still are a lot of colors, you can still keep track of everything. And yeah, that's about it.
All right.
Yay! Questions, comments,
I
concerns?
really like my comment. I really like this because it is true when it comes to character designs. There can be a lot of like too much in one thing.
There are. So
And
I'm
you
going,
actually
well, I was going through looking for bad examples. I didn't want to pick like examples that are kids just having fun. I was specifically looking for people who did like, okay, here's an example of a good character and here's an example of a bad character.
And it really showed. It shows like a difference, and it does. It's very educational, I guess, if that makes sense.
It's very
Like
important.
Yeah, like if you're somebody who makes, like if you're someone who makes OCs and all that stuff, that is very important.
Yes, because I'm going through and I'm seeing just someone picked the most saturated colors, threw it on a character, threw a whole bunch of details. I couldn't make out anything except for, well, there's a pony snout. That's about as much as I could tell. And every time I'd click in, one of the people literally put in the description, this is serious. All of my OCs are serious. And I'm looking at this, it's just like, please take some advice, take criticism. I can't, my eyes still hurt. Like I have a headache just right in the middle of my head right now from looking at all of those.
I think it's really cool that this character, this Juniper character that's on the screen, I think it's cool that her color palette is so extensive, but a lot of that color is just like used in her face and stuff. Because if you look at her body, you know, her wardrobe, her outfit is like 3 or 4 colors. But if you look how intense the color palette is, you know, they can use a lot of those colors for her skin tone.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like the recognizable silhouettes. That was kind of
one thing I wanted to say. I remember that watching this video, they said that when it comes to character design and color, you need contrast in hue and saturation, as in the colors can be contrasting, but they also need to be contrasting with light and dark.
Yeah. So like, if I can move everyone over. I'd like to thank my character on this far side here. Oh, I have a pointer. A
Isn't
character
it-
on this far side here, well, she has like a very bright purpley and pinky color. It's contrasted by the darker blues and the teal.
Yeah.
Whereas like
An interesting, oh, sorry. It's an interesting fashion choice that you picked with like the half transparent dress and then the pant leg. I've never
Right.
seen that before.
I saw it so long ago and I just thought it was the coolest thing and it kind of stuck. My hand
You saw
has
that in the-
disappeared.
I saw a lady hiking in Phoenix like that, and she just was hot, so she just undid one of her zip-off leg pants.
No way.
Okay, you say zip off pants and all I thought of was the tearaway ones.
Oh, they're like.
I know
black
they're wrong,
sneakers.
but like I thought of that. It's just like, yeah.
Okay, nice job, Kim. That looks really good.
Thank you. Would you like your screen back?
Oh, yes.
All yours.
Okay. So, boom. All right. So just to kind of follow up with that, here's some more information for you guys about designing. There's this article called 10 Rules of Composition all designers live by. And so, you know, just to briefly go over this, the first rule here is to find your focus, right? So, you know, what is the focus of the design? You can bring the eye in towards a central point and make people look at what you want them to look at, as in the case with this little writer ad here. And also this, you see how they're basically building a frame around this guy to get your eye to focus on him. Another way that you can lead the eye is with something called leading lines. And, you know, the eye will follow visual cues, you know, like it's following a map or something like that. So, you know, we start reading in the top left and we'll look at this and we'll follow these little arrows wherever they take us, right? This is an extreme example, but there's other examples. Like this is a really good example. Let me see if I can make this a little.
Oh, that's cool.
See if I can.
I like that.
I like that one too.
I'm going to try and get the whole thing in here.
I like that one more than the first one because the first one I just kind of went all over the place and lost interest. This one is just like right here. Look, right here.
Yeah, you know what's cool about this is the design is so interesting that after your eye follows all the lines down to the word unspooling, then because they've interested you so much, or me personally, I'm interested in reading and going over and reading what the hell it's about, you know, because unspooling doesn't tell you anything, right? It's just the name of something, and we have to read more information. But the fact that they gave us this benefit of this cool design makes me want to continue reading. Okay, so there's some leading lines, right? Here's another example of some leading lines. That's pretty interesting. The way that they did
I like that.
But, yeah, but the way that the circles are leading your eye down here towards the center, right? Okay, so then we have scale and hierarchy. Okay, who knows what hierarchy is? Who can define hierarchy?
Level of
Hierarchy
importance.
is when
I'm sorry.
Associated
Just,
importance.
I don't know who went first.
It's a level of associated importance. What should come first, second, third, but it's interpretive.
right. So different things in graphic design, visual design, different elements can help reinforce a hierarchy. And so they give an example of a hierarchy here. There's the headline, which is the top of the pyramid, right? Then there's the subhead, which is the next one down, and then there's the text. You know, they're calling it levels 1, 2, and 3. So there's visual hierarchies, meaning what do you see first, what do you see second, and what do you see third? And since you guys are the designers, you're the architects of this hierarchy, right? And there's different things that, different elements that can reinforce hierarchies, like size, right? Like here's the example, you know, the big headline. You can use color, and you can use shapes, just as some examples. Well, let's go down a little bit. Okay, so here's an example of a hierarchy. So what do you see first?
The color, I do.
I see
Right.
Beethoven. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just repeating it. Never mind.
Yeah. So I
My
mean,
father read first.
I think we see Beethoven first because he's in color and he's big, and he's Beethoven, right? And then because of the negative space, the white space, our eye just drops down to the word Beethoven because it's the next big thing,
And
and
it's
then
bolded,
it drops over to the text.
folded up. That creepy eye certainly gets you too, and it's in the center, and it just, guess that would be a shape.
Ooh, that looks cool.
The eye.
Okay, so there's actually a couple principles happening here, including one we just talked about. Anybody can name some of them?
Well, the silhouette.
Well, there's visual hierarchy happening, right?
Yeah, there's like composition I kind of see. Like I
Lines
kinda
heading
see
to
how
the silhouettes.
clouds,
Yeah,
the
that's
clouds
that,
kind of form like a triangle,
yeah.
which is a
What
very powerful
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
shape composition. Oh, I was gonna say, how you can kind of see like you have the Horizon line, right there where the people are standing, and then the smoke and the clouds kind of form like a triangle shape. And in composition, it's a pretty powerful shape to use.
Yeah, very good. And you can even see a circle here, and you can see other like semicircles coming up, and there's a circle there, so there's repetition. But also what Kim said, these are leading lines that are leading your eye towards the center. And then, the color helps too, because, this is a dark color. This is sort of a, this blue is, it's not really dark, but it's definitely darker than this. And so what happens is by taking the horizon and setting it afire with all those colors and putting the two silhouettes there, you're pushing the eye down to that location, right?
Well, and then the little circle above the word, they were something about repeating your design elements, but it does kind of take you up to that word, but there's also that matching little circle.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And
Okay.
those two mountains draw your eyes, keep your eyes focused more in the center too. You know what I mean? They slant you
Yeah.
down.
They come down, right? Okay, number 4 principle, balance out your enemies, balance out your elements, right? So here we have a very symmetrical design. It looks like it might be a doily or something for a wedding. And, it's symmetrical because if you cut it right in half, pretty much everything on the left balances out everything on the right. And yet there's a lot of nice negative space and some cool fonts. Very, very interesting design. Here's a design that has a different kind of balance. A balance of color versus sort of a plain dirty white, a balance of negative space versus positive space. The positive space would be these circular shapes that have color, and the negative space would be all the white here. Okay, use elements that complement each other. So what do we mean by complement?
Aren't complementary characters like the opposite of what they are? Like, is blue complementary to yellow?
Yeah, well, right. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel.
Yeah.
And
They're complement something. I'm trying to think of how to say it, but it builds upon, it enhances, it supports, it doesn't detract and divide. So
like red and green.
A bit cohesive. Well, it's not really so much the colors, it says the shapes, I think, the images.
Yeah, it can be the content. Like if you look at this image here, you can see that these images of the woman at the top and the image of the man at the bottom complement each other, because it looks like they were shot probably in the same session with the same photographer, the same lighting, the same amount of color being drained out of the images and all that stuff.
And the woman has an eye on her arm and a lip on her hands. You know what I mean? So there's like 3 or 4 different versions of compliment. There's to give praise, which is with an eye, and then there's the complementary colors, and then there's something that enhances, coalesces something to complement it. Goes together with.
Right, exactly. And then here's another example. These are complementary because they're all colored similarly. They're all grayscale, the photos. And the shapes, they're all triangles. All the images, at least. Really interesting weirdo poster with cool fonts and stuff.
Yeah, that font's cool.
So here's one that is being complementary by the fact that everything is in a square, and all of the subject matter is supposed to go together. It's all supposed to be stuff that, I don't know, that this dude wearing the boots uses: guns and pipes and motorcycles. I don't know. Maybe those are his 3 hobbies. Maybe he likes to smoke his pipe while riding his gun and shooting things. I don't know.
Or riding his gun and shooting things.
And shining his shoes and sleeping outside, apparently, too.
Yeah, I have no clue what this is, but it's super pretty, and I'd look at it for a while.
He's all rugged and tough and fashionable.
Well, he's got
You got all
pocket
those.
squares. He's got pocket squares. I mean, who has pocket squares with their gun? Awesome.
Maybe
That's what
pocket squares.
He needs a holster. Yeah, he doesn't need a holster. He just has a pocket square.
I found it here.
Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, look, there's a few more things we missed. It's a huge.
Oh.
He's got a helmet, a beard, an axe. Boy, this guy, I don't know. If you were in a writing class and the assignment were to make a story based on these images, I think there'd be a pretty scary story that would come out of that.
It's Dirty Harry. Except he has a pocket square.
It's Dirty Harry's grandpa. Okay, here, once again, we're still in the complementary. So how's this, Luke, how's this complementary? How are these images complementary?
Which Luke? Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, I'm sorry, you. The guitar playing Luke.
There's only like a few different colors that they're using. Like there's the red guitar with the that's interesting. The jack cord that's connected to a tattooing gun. That's pretty cool. But yeah, just minimal colors and it's all consistent.
Yeah, and I think the shape that this red cord kind of creates is somewhat similar to the shape up here. It doesn't look the same or whatever, but it echoes the fact that there's a sort of rounded shape above it.
You know what it looks like?
Yeah.
Echo's a good word.
It looks like a little speech bubble.
Yeah, it does. Like somebody's saying it. And then do you see how the lines behind rock and ink look kind of like staff lines on music?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a classy poster like that. Okay, here's the next option. Boost or reduce your contrast. So then we have an example here of a super high contrast color there that is drawing all your attention. Looks pretty cool. Looks like it's part of a series.
Really pretty.
That's nice, huh?
What's my life in a poster? So sad.
You guys know about the red paper clip guy?
No.
Nobody's heard that story about the guy that traded the red paper clip for a house?
I need to know this.
Oh, that lady.
Yeah, I've heard about that. There's a few people doing that now.
Yeah, there was a guy, I guess he was one of the first, and it was many years ago, but he posted on his blog that he had a red paper clip and he was gonna create a challenge for himself. He was gonna give himself 1 year, and he was going to do a series of trades where he would trade this red paper clip for other things that were more valuable, keep up trading, so to speak, until eventually he traded up for a house. And it got a lot of publicity, which of course brought a lot of people in to trade things. And so, you know, there's a list. You can look him up on Wikipedia, and it shows you everything that he traded for. And sure enough, within a year, he had gotten a house. So
Dang.
pretty interesting stuff. Okay,
Cool.
so yeah, just look him up on Wikipedia.
And we're doing college.
Yeah. Let's see. The next one is repeat elements of your design. Okay, so, and you can see some examples here. Here's 3 layouts, you know, all probably in the same publication. And you can see several elements that are repeated. The circle, the sort of skewed rectangles, the fact that the color, look at how there's one, you know, they're doing the high contrast thing here too. They've got one bright sort of primary color on each page and everything else is black and white, with it looks like the color also over here for the headline. So lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, I didn't notice the headline. That looks good.
This is once again repeating shapes. And so you see things like this little elegant circular shape at the top and the bottom. You see the triangles repeated. You see these triangular shapes repeated, and also the lines.
Yeah, the triangles both go the same way the Friday goes. Like they didn't put one facing the other way or a different angle.
It's very cool. Very, very great Gatsby, wouldn't you say?
Very.
Okay, so now we're up to number 8. Don't forget the white space, also called negative space. And here's a good example. You know, it forces your eye to focus on whatever is not in the white space. It's in a sea of white. This one's a little more complex, but still all the white space makes you, you know, pay attention to this. You know, you guys who are working on your, you know, your 2-page, your double-page spread, catalog spread, you could use white space judiciously like this, and you could even just show a part, you know, of your product, and then just have a little headline and a few details and a price. I mean, it's one approach, right?
I like that one.
Okay, number 9, align your elements. So you can see that these all are lined up, you know, on the same line. You can see how the text all makes these sort of boxes themselves. You know, that's also a repeating shape, these sort of rectangular shapes. This is just a little thing talking about text and how you can go left aligned, right aligned, center, or justified, which is pushing the text all the way to the sides. And then finally, design principle number 10. You've probably all heard this: divide your design into thirds. You can design it into thirds both horizontally and vertically, and then put elements of interest into these sections, which are the thirds, right? You can also put elements of interest right where the intersection of the lines are. Like if you look at this right here, where this guy's face is, that's, you know, where the lines intersect. And so here you can look at this and try and suss out, you know, if you, in your mind, you drew these imaginary lines, you know, here and here, you could see that those are thirds, and this is occupying the center third. You know, and then down here, this is this is occupying more than the center third, but you know, they're using that same idea of dividing their page up and creating compositional balance. Here in the second half, bottom half, it looks like almost they just cut the page in half, and they try to put the same amount of block-based information over here as here to kind of balance them out. And then we have the bottom, which is also
weird. When I did my 2-page spread, I did have so many grids out, lining stuff up, and it really helps.
Yeah, grids are cool. And here they're showing you, talking about grids, you know, that you can use certain programs like, well, you can turn grids on in Illustrator and Photoshop, but you can also use programs like InDesign to make grids and design on those. Okay, that's the article. You know, take a look at that if you get a chance. Maybe reinforce some of those principles. Maybe when you guys are working on your homework or your projects, I should say, maybe take a look at that article and just pick one principle or two principles and say, okay, I'm going to do repeating patterns and white space, you know, or, you know, see what you can incorporate into your work, and then it becomes one more tool in your designer's toolbox. Okay.
I had a question real quick.
Yeah.
I had a question about the slide that, or the picture that had the various ways that you can have your text, like the left-sided, you know, right-centered, and then right. Yeah.
Just-sided, yeah.
Like, why, is there any particular reason why you would choose one or the other?
Nana, wait, before you leave the fridge, can I have some Snapple?
Snapple.
Oh, hey, I'm not muted. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I usually check to be sure I'm muted before I ask, but I'm not. So
Luke, it's what we call the Snapple rule. Okay.
Anytime I'm in class, I need to have Snapple. It doesn't matter which one.
Okay. Actually, I do have a couple of answers.
Thank you, Nana.
The first answer that I would give you is that people are used to reading left-aligned text. So if you make something left-aligned, it's going to be easier for most people to read because that's how they're used to reading things, right? Now,
In our country.
In our country,
right.
I have heard designers warn against taking big blocks of text and making them centered because it's harder for people to read that. They've done studies. People just read lickety-split on left align, but center, they have to sort of rebalance their eye every time they go to a new line. So if you're going to center text, center small amounts of text like headlines, and then underneath you can do left-aligned text if you're going to do a block of text. Now, right-aligned text is going to grab attention because it's different. And of course, the main reason to use that would be if you have to put text on the right side of the page, and there's a reason to create this line of the line.
Yeah, kind of attractive on the right side of the page.
Yeah. And then justified, I will quite honestly tell you that if you ever use justified text and you're not required to, you're probably making a mistake. I think justified text is horrible because of the way that it forces you to put this extra space in between letters. You know, it's constantly forcing you to either do that or to add more words to the paragraph to get rid of that, and so you're constantly editing. Justified text is really big in the publishing industry in like paperback books.
I think it looks really pretty though. It looks really clean. It's just, to me, it's sort of symmetrical. You know, I'm just saying there are times when I think it looks really cool.
And absolutely, you're right. In fact, there's an example right here on this page, right above it. See this? This is, well, it's not fully justified, but it's pretty justified. Like there's some empty spaces there, which are the end of the paragraphs. But you can see that here they're using justified text and they're using it to echo these rectangular shapes above. So that's, I mean, I'll admit, you know, when you have spent some time doing design, you get pretty opinionated about things. And I just hate justified text, and that's just me. And you guys should certainly feel
you're really subtle about it.
Excuse me, I'm still talking right here.
Oh,
You should definitely feel free to make your own opinion about justified text, and you should definitely try it out and see if there's applications for it. Okay, Mia, what were you gonna say?
Okay. I'm just saying it's good that you're very subtle about your dislike of justified.
Well, is there really any point at being subtle when you're on like a online forum? I mean, it's like if you want to get your message across, you pretty much have to scream it, you know?
Yeah. You just use all caps.
Yeah, use all caps. That's always good advice. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is go into the folders and take a look.
Wait, Greg, could you send us that link?
It's on the webpage.
Okay.
So it's right here, just 10 rules of composition.
Cool. Thanks.
Let me go to the folder. Okay. And we'll take a look at the work you guys have done.
Yeah, I was wondering when we were gonna do that. I thought like we were gonna not do it today.
Okay, Mr. Diego, anything?
Yeah. I added the what's it called? The team member for project assignments.
Okay.
I did the billboard and the web page for the project. So that's in a separate folder called Mindful Project.
Okay. I've clicked on your folder 17 times and it hasn't opened. So
I know. I've had that issue before. I just had to reclose it and open it again.
okay, let me. Okay, in the
Mindful Project.
all right. So you're working with Luke on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did the billboard and the web page.
Oh, that's really, really pretty. I've been wanting to do fonts like that. Can you explain how you got the background text like that? Because I was gonna look that up, but I didn't.
The All We Have Is Now text.
Yeah, I really like that.
I found that on Unsplash. I just looked up graffiti and I was looking at different text that was like disclaiming like different things, and this is the one that popped out the most.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I just did a quick selection around the text, and I just deleted the background behind it. So it just leaves the text and then some stroke.
I like the way you did the logo down on the right too.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit in the corner somewhere, or somewhere distinct.
Yeah, it stands out but doesn't take over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you use the pen tool for all of this?
What I actually did was I took Greg's idea of using Peter Max's artwork, and I image traced it to limit like 6 or 7 colors, and that's what I got when I expanded it.
I like how you have the Peter Max over there on the right, and it's kind of cool. It's almost like he would be like a sponsor of this company. It's kind of cool. An endorsing artist.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Totally.
Very nice.
Is that the Oso mudslide map colorized?
I don't remember.
It looked
I
like
found
the-
all these photos on Unsplash though.
There was a huge famous mudslide in the state of Washington that looked like that, went through a town. That's like beautiful. It's like paint, paint slide.
Yeah, I did a lot of image tracing for these projects, so the colors really came in handy for like finding the right medium.
There's some things that I really like about this. Like in your search box here, you have need some help, which is a double entendre, you know, because you need help searching, but you need some help kind of in general, right? And then this tagline here, keeping your mind over matter, is very cool. Be careful, you know, make sure you double check your spelling, because we got 3 F's over here in different.
Oh crap. It just blew past my mind. Yeah, my bad.
I didn't even see it either.
Well, for a second I thought you were making a joke about the word different, like spelled differently, right?
Different. All right. I'll fix that. and I'll re-upload it.
Well, and it's nice that there's different communities. So it's very welcoming in that way, you know,
Mhm.
that particular thing,
Yeah.
and celebrates a happy word. But also, if you knew the background of that mudslide, that community really had to recover from something. So it's actually a
True. If I
Interesting.
added something like more environmentally friendly or some sort of resource, then that would have been cool.
mm-hmm.
I think that's a.
With it.
I think what. Sorry. Yeah.
No.
But I think what she was saying is that it's a good choice because it's a catastrophe that people had to work through.
Mm.
Absolutely, that's what
So
I
that
meant. It's like the perfect choice.
so-
Oh, I see.
yeah.
You know what else is, you know how they were talking about high contrast in those 10 principles of design? If you took these bubble shapes, these ellipses, and made them a little darker, it would be easier to read the white on top of them.
And probably the color can change a bit because the celebrate that would be it's kind of the same color of the mud a bit,
Okay.
but the blue reads easily. I like the blue one.
Yeah, like, well, you can see how when he put this sort of shadow over the top, how much good that did with popping the text out. And so I'm just saying, you know, do something similar down here. And Adrian, it sounds like Adrian might be saying, you know, you could even do something similar down here. You could put another black shadow down here to pop this out. And then you could slightly darken these ellipses to make that text pop out as well. Okay, but really nice job. So, Luke, oh, go ahead.
Also, it has that the logo like right in the middle, so you really keep making that association of that's the logo for help for that company.
Yeah, and like these, you know how Mia, you were talking about the word balloon before? These things these seem kind of like thought bubbles
Oh
that are
yeah,
emanating from the guy, you know?
yeah.
Sorry, I just got back. My internet's a little buggy right now.
Oh,
Did you
it's okay.
notice his eyes are open, but yet he looks friendlier because of the mustache, the changed nose, and the mouth?
Yeah, and the eyebrows, they definitely make it far more significance to like looking more relaxed.
Got ya.
Luke Cottrell, should we look at yours now? Do you have anything new in there?
Yeah, I have the van wrap. And then I think I added the updated magazine cover, but I forgot to put it up there.
So
yeah.
This is the van?
Right.
Oh, that is so cool.
I think we had a little disconnect in communication because I thought we were going with mental art therapy for a moment there, but I guess we.
Oh, I thought I said it like clearly. When I said it, my bad. I should have said it more. Like I should have put more attention to it. My bad.
It's all right, but
I didn't even really notice what the difference was.
yeah.
I mean that's, you guys can easily just change the text.
Right, we have computers.
I was going to say something. It said that really peaceful look, but the graphics on the van look like steps, like you're taking steps to make progress.
I wonder, Luke, if you use, you know Diego's background for his website, that mudslide thing. I wonder if you use that as a background for the van, if it might add more continuity between the advertising.
Yeah, that would probably be good. I think we just didn't really communicate super good about what we were doing. We just kind of did stuff. So,
yeah. No, I understand.
That would have, we would have been able to find a more common ground for sure.
I work a lot better in front person. Like it's a lot easier to do it in person, but you know, you got to work with what you got. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. We both I think last night my internet was really, actually since that storm, my internet, and I think most of our internet have been kind of struggling to continue.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I can try that. I'll change it so that it's consistent with the website and just make
Okay.
sure it's good.
Well, it looks good though. I like where you're going with it. And then, should we?
And then I've got the.
What's
Sure,
that?
yeah. I would like to. Sure, yeah. If you check out the songwriter, I'd like to see what you guys think about it.
So this is his double-page spread of catalog of items for sale.
Nice. It looks good. It actually does look convincing.
Thank you.
Those colors look really nice together.
Like the
Wait.
background.
These.
Go ahead, Adrian.
Oh no. You go.
I was just talking about more of the objects in the foreground, but I like the background too. It's very subtle. Maybe if you make it more of a cream color than a white, it would blend even better.
Yeah.
Like a more kind of ivory yellowish kind of color.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
I was
kind of
gonna
like
ask-
bluish purple.
I was gonna ask, were they all like? Did you take pictures of all these stuff?
Yeah, that's actually like all my stuff for
Because
music.
I
that
noticed
have.
That's
they all
cool.
have the same lighting.
You said you were going to do
Yeah.
a junk store. This is hilarious.
Right. I took a picture of all of them in like the same spot so that it has the same lighting and everything. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Then like you did the
thanks.
thing like with the melon head and just crop out everything and just put it and organized it.
yeah.
Oh, good job.
Luke,
But I was just sorry, what?
Go ahead.
I mostly wanted to see what you guys thought because I'm fairly cool with the layout of the objects and stuff, but it's just the background. I'm not super sure how well, like if it clashes or anything with the stuff in the foreground. I tried to make it super subtle, but I just wanted to, that was the main thing that I wasn't super, that I wanted some external advice about.
I don't think it clashes due to the fact that one, it doesn't clash because they're both different colors. Obviously, the background is very faded and very white, while the things in front that are being sold are very warm colors. So there's no clashing with that. So there's not a lot that it can really clash with. So yeah, good job.
Okay.
I really like the font that you used at the top, but I'm not absolutely positive because you did fade out the background a lot, but that actually just reminds me of late night musicians, and there's always been like a weird mystery about what all their stuff is and what they're doing in their lifestyle, so it sort of goes.
Cool. Yeah, it's a picture of a piano.
Is that what it
in a
is? I keep
garage.
looking, yeah.
Oh yeah, I couldn't figure it out, but now I can see the keys.
But there is kind of something mysterious about the band guys, you know, and they got live in a, you know, a lot of weird stuff going on. So.
It's usually very dysfunctional.
Your word. I was learning that. No, I'm just kidding. I was actually shopping. I want the delay pedal and the loop pedal.
Maybe we'll trade you for some things, Luke.
Yeah.
I have
read your clip.
I have one idea, Luke, which is you know how sometimes you're reading these music catalogs and they'll break out a little section away from the rest. Like you see this section over here that has the cheapo, you know, $20, $30 items.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you might consider like putting a box around that and maybe a little headline that would say something like, you know, well, if it were Christmas, it would say something like stocking stuffers, but you could come up with a little phrase like super deals or something like that, you know, or 2 for 1 or whatever. Because see how these are much cheaper than everything else on the page, so you could group them together and pitch them separately.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
My son
Although
worked
it
at
looks-
Sprouts, and they used to have the teaser ads like that. It was something to get the customers in. It was weird. So they'd say like something important, raspberries for $1 or, you know, something, or steaks for $1. But then that whole point of it was to get the attention.
I was gonna say maybe it looks like it's the group differently, like Guitar's group, and then those other stuff that are like square shaped were grouped differently. And since the other ones are like accessories, they were grouped more together. So I, I think it was just grouped it differently. It wasn't like from price.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Well
Right
done.
on.
Job. It looks good.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for the
Yeah,
feedback.
came out great.
Welcome.
And the balance was there because you didn't put the green delay pedal like off on the side. It kind of kept your eyes not floating off to the side too.
Okay. So I think I'm going to jump into Cynthia's folder here. Cynthia, do you have anything new to share with us? Let's see. Let me see if Cynthia's here. Well, I don't see Cynthia on the list, so I'm going to say that's a no. Eric, how about you?
Nothing yet. Probably tomorrow for sure. Well,
Okay.
tomorrow for sure.
Carolina?
I think I have the stickers.
Stickers. Okay.
I noticed we lost one person because we had 16 showing.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one with a picture and one without a picture.
Okay, so there's the one, and then the other one is that. Okay, no picture and picture.
I like the one with the picture more.
Me too.
Did you draw
It's a nice
that?
picture.
No, I didn't. I got it from a free website.
Okay, I'm just really like trying to draw stuff on this thing, so anything that looks good.
Drawing mustache.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I wonder how will this stick will be used. Like if a tattoo person goes to another one, just get them right in the backpack and be like, you should get a tattoo.
Now, Carolina, are you actually advocating for tattoos? Are you a fan of tattoos?
Yes, I like them, but I only have one on me right now.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Are there people out there you think that actually go get tattoos when they're down and it lifts them up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay.
It's either get a tattoo or dye your hair.
Or both.
Or both. I haven't done both
she-
yet, but I'll let you know when I do both.
Got your tattoo?
Well, I have 3 tattoos right now. I already have a 4th one planned. And then I do dye my hair this reddish color because my natural hair is gross.
So
You colored your
sense.
tattoo.
Okay, well, this is very nice. Nice job. Anything else we should look at in here?
I think I have the vacation one, the Bahamas one. I think we saw it. I don't remember.
Well, there's the World Tour vacation.
The Bahama one.
That looks good. And then the Bahamas.
Mhm.
Okay, those both look good.
That's it.
Okay, nice job. Let's see. Kim.
I'm next. I don't know if I have anything, to be honest with you. You can go into Photoshop and we'll see if I can see anything new. I think the Bahamas is the new one.
Okay.
Oh no, I remember we looked at this and for some reason it's awkwardly bright.
Right.
So then I guess the other thing is I threw in the finished version of the van because that was the one thing I had to do because we didn't like the big mirror. So if you want to head back,
Finished version of the what?
the van.
The van.
Yes. And it's van idea. The only one that's not right. I realize it.
Okay.
But ta-da! That's all I
Looks
have to say.
better. You took that mirror off that we didn't like on the door.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you change the handle to green?
I did.
I noticed. I like it. It's cute.
The green is pretty and it contrasts more with the blue and the purple.
Nice.
Because I didn't want to do yellow again.
I noticed the repeating mirrors more because of it.
Yeah.
You know what I think? I think this is a Carl's Jr. star, and he's an egomaniac, and all he does is look at himself in a mirror all day.
This is his trim bottle. Just that this one is
Maybe he
loving
wasn't
himself
making
a bit
enough at Carl's Jr.
Right?
Okay, Luca Beta, have you got anything new?
Yeah, I was able to finish both of my things for the group project. It's still in the group project folder. I don't know what's going on with Cynthia, though.
Okay.
Oh my.
So
Yeah,
that's your van?
yeah, yeah. I can. Can't really see it.
Um,
That
is that
good.
better?
Reminds me of Appa from Avatar.
Actually, my inspiration was the dragon from Spirited Away, which is
Oh,
why for this I named it the Koganai Cloud Glider, I think it was, because Koganai is the area where Studio Gilby is located in.
that's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
So the
like-
creature looks like he has clouds on him.
Well, I kind of took a sort of cloud-based design.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
I'll
you know-
recommend that the text, like following the rule of those, you can probably put it like more on the left side. So and maybe make it a bit bigger because I mean if it's a van and then it's going fast, so it needs to be a bit readable.
Yeah.
I like how the dragon is like on the side of the car like that, just because it's gonna look funny when it's driving by.
Mhm.
Like it's really a dragon flying along the road with you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, he's
That
cool.
would actually be really funny if you were driving and that went by you. Would definitely get your attention.
Yeah. And then the other one is the Dragon magazine.
Some things come in small packages. That's cute.
Into dragon?
Very minimalist.
That's really
That's a
good.
cool illustration, Luke. I like it.
Really
This
good.
kind of reminds me of a movie poster almost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's sort of supposed to be like one of those things where less is more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Totally worked.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about in that article that was talking about composition. You've used your negative space really well to focus our eye in the center.
Neat. I mean, I have been always told I have good visual stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it looks good. Nice job.
Yeah.
From the hierarchy thing you were talking about, where you
Yeah.
go one to the next, kind of a line of sight, the whole thing.
I like down here it says actual size.
Yeah. I mean, you can even see the asterisk
Yeah.
near one of the toes.
That's cute.
I don't know what happened to Cynthia.
Okay, well, yeah, don't worry. I'm sure she'll get a hold of me, and she can. We'll look at her stuff when she's rejoined the class. So I think you've done a nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, and then let's see, Brianna. Brianna, are you?
I'm sorry. I was trying to put the rubber bands on my braces.
Oh no!
I remember those days. I remember those days.
Yeah.
I used to have braces. Yeah.
Oh, that can't be any fun.
I just got them today, and of course, I went to go eat, and I was like, put them back on. One's popping on, but one won't go on. And I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh, you just got them today?
No, I just got the bands today. I technically had them since like January, December, but when quarantine started, they never like did anything to them.
Oh my
so I
god.
just sat there with them.
Wait, so you never got them updated?
No, until like maybe like a month or two ago.
Jeez.
So they're like, "Have you got an
Oh.
expander yet?" And I'm like, "No."
Because we
Yikes.
change
Oh,
every
no.
month.
So do you have anything new, Brianna?
The only thing that should be new would be the project that we just did, collaboration.
The ad campaign?
Yes.
I just realized that you kind of sound like Mabel from Gravity Falls.
Okay, I'm not the only one who was thinking that. I think it's just like, should I say it? Should I not say it?
I do.
You do.
Yeah, a bit. Not a lot, a bit.
So which file should we be looking at, Brianna?
You should be looking at okay, so that's one gameplay that we did.
Oh, cool. So it's like a graphic novel kind of game?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the stuff you should be looking at would be Brianna Stevens Ad Magazine Final.
Ooh.
I was trying to make it move, but I realized too late after I gave up that I probably should have grouped the stuff in the back, but I didn't. So I kept like trying to move the like specific layers in the back.
It's okay.
And you could do, I think, do you know how to use Flash?
No,
Oh.
I tried.
Because like you can make the glass move in a loop, and then all the peoples you just have to animate like one, and then you can copy and paste it around, and it will, all be moving.
I think it looks really nice. Nice colors, nice nice composition.
Thank you.
I love this little guy in the corner. He's my favorite.
He's I believe he's supposed to be the logo that we came up with. So they just did the puppet that the bad guy has.
Oh yeah, it's really cute. Very nice.
Thank you.
You might want to, this is just a little suggestion, but maybe add a little bit of that same green in his shirt, maybe to the lettering.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Good idea.
My
Good
eye
idea.
is just like very drawn towards that, like where the hairline is and where his green shirt is.
Oh, I get you.
Cool. Okay, and are there any other images we should look at?
I also have the web in here. It should be, yeah, 1 and 2.
It's very cool.
I like that one.
Really nice. I mean, it seems like it could be a real thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to upload an animation I did with it where it just pretty much translates to the other picture.
Okay.
But for some odd reason, it's taking like 17 hours to load. That's what it's saying.
Okay, well, I'll set my timer here for 17 hours, and then we'll take a look.
Okay.
I like the logo and name, like the deviant part at the top corner there with the in combination. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice.
Reminds me of
I like it a lot.
Steins Gate.
What's that, Yi?
Oh, it reminds me of an anime called Steins Gate.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I know
I never
that, yeah.
watched it, but I always heard of it.
Yeah.
You know, that puppet is both the cutest and the creepiest little puppet I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, Greg.
Yeah. Okay, well, very nice. Nice job. So, Serena, should we look at anything of yours? Do you have some related stuff? Or?
So I actually have something in the same folder of hers.
Oh, oops.
Sorry, I should have said earlier. I have one thing in there, and then I have the billboard that I made. It should be the top one. The first top one is the van that I ended up coming up with. It's simple, but I ended up making a little bit of a illustration for it.
It's beautiful. I think the puppet's name should be Creepy.
Creepy.
Is the puppet the mastermind? Because I'm getting like the puppet could be the mastermind all along.
The puppet is the puppet master?
Yeah.
I think for I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think when I made him, I thought the puppet to be like one of those security things where like he talks to it and everything, and once it's gone, he loses his mind. Like it's like, where is it? I know you've done something with it, and you're just like, okay, you're actually kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it would be funny if the puppet was controlling the guy that's carrying him around.
Yeah, it's really cool. Cool concept. And then do you have more in here, Serena?
Or if you didn't
no, it's in the other one, my folder.
Right.
It should be under I have it under project, I think, or yeah, project. And yeah.
Okay.
It's simple. I think I forgot some stuff. Now that I think about it.
Well, first of all, the puppet looks like he fell asleep.
Me
too. Me too.
Hey, he needs to nap as well. Okay, not
Me
everyone
too.
can run on like an hour's of sleep. And hours.
Maybe he's mad because the evidence is there. He's like, epic fail. I like that it's consistent that way, though, that you keep saying the clues. You could solve it if you try, if you just look, you know, that's kind of fun.
And I thought that that with the gradient with what I did for the illustration, I thought, oh, you know, I should probably keep up with the pattern and have like a purple or like a pink type of theme to it.
Good idea.
Yeah, it's nice.
I kind of wish that the colors switched. That would have been better, but I couldn't find any gradients that would help with that.
I like that we can tell that this guy's the bad guy just because he's got this scar, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then anything else, Rena?
I think that's it pretty much.
Okay.
At the bottom, if you want, I have like the actual like illustration of it if you wanted to see.
Nice.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. I just did the van and the billboard.
That's great.
Okay. Let's see. Milo, have you got anything? Are you here? Oh no, Milo's not here. He must have dropped out. Adrian, anything from you?
I hope it's not the internet because we lost 2 now.
Oh, here's Adrian. Yeah, he dropped out too, so he just came back. Hi, Adrian. Do you have anything new in your folder?
Okay, I'm back. Storm took out the power.
Do you have anything new in your folder?
Oh, geez, looks like I really came in time.
We were going to look in your folder if there's something new in there.
Yes.
Okay. Under what should
Okay, I got the infographic. I did it on YouTube on some the statistics that they have.
Wow, those are real stats?
Yeah.
I like it.
The one that I think that surprises me is that YouTube makes like $5.5 billion in ad revenue. It's like no wonder why YouTubers can get rich so fast.
I don't know if I remembered that Google bought YouTube.
Yeah, they bought it in 2006. And
Long, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's worth way more now.
Oh no, look at that. 70% is watched because of the algorithm suggestions. Oh dear.
Yeah.
YouTube's a little poopy.
Now, you say YouTube is technically the second largest search engine in the world. What's the first?
Google.
Oh.
So Google owns the first and the second.
Okay, got it. Okay. Wow, interesting stuff. And the design is interesting enough to keep my attention and make my eye move around. So good job with that.
The gray gives a nice break to the eyes. I like that gray, the gray splashes on there.
I agree. That's a good point. Thank you.
I would say I struggle a bit with the background. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? You guys like it, or is it a bit irritating?
I like it because it's not too much. It doesn't distract from what you have in the foreground.
Yeah, like I choose a soft red. I didn't want a harsh red. I choose a soft one, and I wanted it to be like I first experimented with white and gray, but that made the text very hard to read, and the text and the graphics, I wanted them to follow, the YouTube colors. So I went with a light pink type color and a dark gray.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
If it was all pink, it would be hard to look at.
Yeah. What else have you got for us, Adrian?
The catalog. It's more of a parody type. Because there's this game where they sell like these giant robots. So I thought, imagine if they had a catalog. How would that look like?
That's great. Super villains catalog.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Nice. Hey, they have a big budget, man. They can afford it.
$10 billion.
Yeah.
Oh
well, these things
man,
don't come
dude.
cheap.
Oh,
10,600,000.
From Russia? Dang. Keep
Yeah,
that
so
money from
I
us.
just went into the BIOS of these machines and I just put them there.
Oh.
Look at that, derived from an extinct proto-humanid species. Awesome.
Wow.
The one on the bottom is really creepy.
Yeah.
It looks like an evil wasp.
Kind of.
So, yeah, this looks great. Don't forget to do a double page spread. So, do a second page that sits right next to this that's also part of the catalog.
Oh, so it needs to be like 2 pages?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2 pages.
Okay, got it.
I knew there was something that was catching my attention, but it was so cool I forgot.
What else? Eric, did you saw the van? Not the van, the website?
No, I think last class I got cut out from the storm. I'm hoping that don't happen again, honestly, right now. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's cool.
I like that you put your little baby rhino floating on this little plug of lens.
Yeah. He also has, I made him the villain, so I put him an Infinity Gauntlet.
That's fun. Very nice.
I like it's his final episode and you ship him off to space. That's funny.
Yeah.
The logo's really nice.
Okay. And then let's see, Claudia.
Just a sticker.
Sticker?
Yeah, I have the sticker. Photoshop.
That's a cool sticker.
Mhm.
Really cool sticker.
Wow.
Wow.
There's a lot going on
So
here.
rad.
Yeah.
A lot going on, man. You could write your thesis on this stick.
We call the analysis of Claudia's book. Okay, so first I noticed that the record is like a galaxy, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the moon is in behind in the background, and then the thing that shoots the music is a flower.
Right.
Now I'm just trying to think
Right.
with my big brain what is the meaning.
Well, there's the hummingbird coming for the musical nectar, and it's also dead.
I love that.
Maybe it could be discovering the secrets of the galaxy could be sweet, but it's also poison.
Yeah, there's so many cool things. And then is there a second page down here?
Yeah, kind of
Just weirdly, it looks like a bowling ball sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Just because.
It's a bowling ball for aliens, because imagine putting your fingers on there.
They have so many fingers.
Yeah.
Then just like played around with gradients and.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing us all the versions. It makes it really interesting to see the creative process.
Yeah, it's super cool.
You.
I like
the first one the best because the background.
The
The background's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Like more like psychedelic.
Yeah,
like
I
the
can't
line.
help it.
Right.
Very nice. Okay, good job. And then
The one with the pastel bottom was kind of interesting too.
what do you have, Mia, that's new?
There's two things. There's the double page spread and the infographic, I think. That's my plants and seeds catalog.
I like the background.
Oh, thanks. I changed it, just expanded it so it got out of the way of the text a little bit and faded it out.
I like the way you did this text here. This is $4.99. It's like a mystery. Like if you can read this,
I know.
you get it at that price.
I know. I thought that was pretty obscure too, but I was like, I'm leaving it.
And maybe the prices should be bigger, because it's usually what they try to do. The first thing that they want you to see is the price. You know?
I want to know if my plants will really have eyes on them when I buy them.
I loved that graphic.
From Charmville, I guess.
The price down on the bottom left, I thought about making that lettering bigger, but I was just wanted to be done. And,
Yeah. Well, it looks good.
oh, this is, close your eyes, put on your sunglasses. Oh.
Is the infographic?
It is, yeah. I used to live in Bisbee, so I just went full Bisbee on you.
So 160% is what we're getting when we add all that up.
Yeah,
That's a good point, but you are not the math whiz, so I'm,
I'm not a math teacher, but I play one on TV.
My question
it even makes me laugh more now.
So my question is, how come each triangle is the same size but different percentages? Like, wouldn't it be better like the 20% is a smaller triangle, the skinnier one?
I should have done that. You mean the 20%ers be so that it comes out to that perfect 160?
Yeah, like if it's if they're like the triangles from a pie chart, like they're the same size.
Yeah, you know what? I
You
was
should-
just like selecting the color sample, but I could have. You're right. I would have maybe.
You should try and make it add up to 420.
I think that's the rent that my friend Bobby there literally charged my son for his room was 420 because it's a real 420 place over. It's in San Diego.
That's funny.
You know, when I was doing the band, I really wanted to make a fake phone number, just call whatever code they use in Tucson, then 420 6925.
Nice. That looks good.
I wanted to do a pie chart of pies and a bar graph of bars, but I just ran out of time. I was like, so that's what I wanted.
Robin, anything new from you?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. The first is that sticker. I put it in a PDF format at the very bottom. And it's not complete, but
That's
it's
rad.
me practicing drawing on the iPad. So I can get frustrated because it's like a messy process, but I'm gonna add in some mushrooms because I add mushrooms to everything.
Because it wouldn't be your work if there are mushrooms in there.
Exactly.
Robin's signature is mushrooms.
Is it going to be on black like this?
Yeah, I like it with the black. I feel like it wouldn't make sense without it.
Do you ever do anything like put a little white around the edges to pop him out a bit?
Yeah, maybe. I really wanted, what I wanted, never mind. There's this whole thought process, but it's not worth explaining. Yeah, that's it. I'll try to add white.
Well, think about it. I mean, you can always put it on its own layer and use it if you want, you know what I mean? But it's very cool design. And where are the mushrooms going to be?
It's gonna be a lot like what my moth was like with the mushrooms surrounding it.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You
Cool.
want it to look more dead than.
What are you using to draw on the iPad?
Just like this pencil, this Apple Pencil.
Oh, no, I was meaning like the software, like are you using Procreate or Clip
No,
Studio?
this was with Adobe Draw, so you can draw on your iPad and then send it over to your computer.
Nice. What else you got for us?
The Trailbound project is finished, so, and the colors might be off because I put it in Photoshop this time and it does something with the colors.
Really pretty.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks like something I would actually see in a sit on by a cash register or something as you're checking out. You know.
I can tell that you did this at like 3 in the morning, and then you were typing this sentence and you fell asleep, like right here at the end.
Like I think I got my point across.
You're like, I've decided I'm going to do 2.3 hours of homework every night for this class, and I've hit my limit, and then that's it, right?
Right, my timer went off. It was
That's a beer word that was apparently very critical to the message.
I wasn't expecting you guys to read it.
Beer, blah, 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 blah. Maybe she had the beer. Beer, blah, blah.
You could have put out your file, please, and then in the bottom it just says the Latin stuff. You could just put there, warning, if you do not put out your file, Smokey Bill knows where you live.
Beer will be find you.
Well, that logo is so good. You guys have come so far with that logo. I'm really impressed with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Looks nice. Okay, and then anything else we got in here?
Yeah, the website. I just added a few more things.
I like the colors.
What's the proof going to be that you put out your campfire? You bring back like a smoldering rag or something?
Maybe like a coal or like a
coal?
something.
Not like one that you forgot off your barbecue or something like that?
You have to roll around in a video of yourself on where the campfire was to prove that it's not hot at all.
Yeah.
Just put your little USB thing. You're like, there you go.
Nice.
When you turn off your campfire, Smokey Bear will just come and be like, good job. Just give you a coupon.
Yeah, Smokey Bear will know.
You will have to.
He's like Santa Claus. He always knows. And then He'll send a text to Santa Claus and you won't get your Christmas present.
You have to stand in the fire ring for like a 3-minute video barefoot.
Nice. Looks good.
Thanks. And then the infographic also.
Okay.
Thought you were done.
I thought it was done.
Been busy.
And I don't know, I wanted to do something I like actually cared about, but then I just decided to do garlic. And I've been practicing a little more, like I said, with drawing on the iPad. So that was the result this morning.
Enchanted garlic syrup?
That sounds interesting.
And I couldn't figure out how to make the pie chart different colors.
Oh, okay. Well, that you have to use the white arrow tool and click on the block of color.
Okay.
So let's see. What do I want? Drawing, some kind of drawing thing here.
It's
Yeah.
really pretty.
So if you take your white arrow tool in Illustrator and you just click on this little rectangle here, you'll be able to select it and change its color.
Okay, cool. Well, Adrian kind of inspired me maybe to do one about surveillance. So I don't know, maybe I'll make another one.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, are we done now?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, very good. All right, and then let's see. Oh, somebody's waiting in the waiting room. Adrian, okay. Alma, have you got anything in your folder?
I have the infographic.
Infographic. Baby goes here.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's funny. I think it's really nice how you use color and imagery to sort of take us from one section to the next.
I like how the graphics are like staggered, you know, so it's kind of like one,
Yeah.
kind of helpful to the eye.
And
Like,
that white thing around it, I did not put it. It appeared there with the,
Oh, it wasn't there?
yeah, with, when I put it into the folder, this folder, then it gave it to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Google does that sometimes. Check your spelling. This this word should be there should be an H in through.
Okay.
Thank
you.
You know, I really like it. I'm wondering if you know the color palette that you used here for these background things. I wonder if it might be even a little more effective if the color palette were even a little more limited. Like, you know, if you tried something like alternating the same color over and over, or you know, you have like 1, 2, 3, like you know, this blue color, this sort of blue teal at the top is very different from all these others. And I'm wondering if all the colors on the page were very consistent, if the whole page might flow a little easier.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really cute. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
The lady at the bottom. And the kind of always.
Yeah, that's great.
That was not me at the beginning.
Do you have a baby?
Yeah, I have two.
Two? Okay.
Two babies.
Nice. Okay, Yi, have you got anything?
I have the group project for the billboard. Billboard. Yeah, I hope it's a funny one.
A lot of golf and tan.
Is this like a post-apocalyptic, like, oh no, that's Mars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh God, is that a Tesla right there?
Tesla's still floating in space.
Yeah, but now it's going to Mars, I guess.
That's 2.0, New Jersey.
It's powered by Chick-fil-A.
That's all you get, Chick-fil-A. That's no other food. That's all
Carrot.
Chick-fil-A.
Carrot and carrot tacos, that would be an interesting thing.
Wow.
That's
Very
all
cool.
the nice residents that you guys get to meet. And you pretty much get only 3 state or country in this example.
Florida, New Texas, and New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's Karen and Kevin. Who are Karen and Kevin?
Just
Don't be a Karen.
Names.
TPU.
They are the people that ask for the manager all the time.
Oh.
Wait, is a Kevin equivalent to a Karen?
Yeah.
The male equivalent to a Karen? Oh
I didn't
my
know there
God.
was one.
I didn't know either.
How you know?
And like the way I hold a Kevin is just someone who's kind of dumb. Like when they say tell Kevin stories, they're like, you feel what happened to Kevin? This Kevin. Oh my goodness, he did this.
Nice. All right, good job, Yi. Okay. Anybody else that I missed or that had something that we didn't see?
We
Okay.
can use infographic.
Yeah, we saw your infographic.
Did we?
Well, wasn't it the hippie one?
No, Yee's infographic.
Oh yeah, we saw it. We saw it.
Okay, I spaced out. Sorry. Clearly.
Let's see. Okay, well, it's 2:37. Let's round that up to 2:40. Why don't you take a 15-minute break and come back at 2:55? Sound good?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it's 2:55 and I'm back. So hopefully some of you guys are back too. Let me go ahead and go back to the class website here. And okay, so there was one last thing that got uploaded, which was Brianna's video, the animation that she made. So I want to show that real quick. Let me find that here. Let's see. Brianna, are you there? I'm trying to find your video that you uploaded if you're there. Let's see. Oh, here we go. These two guys here. Let me see what this looks like. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so she made a little video which would show, you know, the change from one screen to the next. on the website. So it would be like a carousel that's playing different things.
That's cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Looks good. Okay. So I know you guys are going to find this hard to believe, but we're at the end of our Photoshop segment of the class. And part of the reason for that is because we have to move on to the next program, which is InDesign. And so today's going to be the last dedicated Photoshop day. Although, of course, we'll look at work that you've done in Photoshop, and I can answer questions and we can learn new things about it as, you know, as they're relevant when we're talking about these other programs. But as sort of a final project for Photoshop, I would like to assign you guys this project and do a little example version of it right now with you. So the sort of Photoshop final project is called an annual report, a corporate annual report cover, and then a double-page spread of what might be inside the annual report. So for example, very early on when we were learning Illustrator, we did that perfume bottle, and that was like an example of an annual report, but that was a very simple one. And now you could look at this sample here that's on the class website, and like here's an example of, you know, what might be sort of a more professional annual corporate report cover. So of course you can get graphics from any of the free websites, you know, put in text and colors. You can use color palettes that you get off the Adobe site or Color Lovers, and make an annual report cover for, you know, whatever kind of company you want to create it for. And then after that, go ahead and design a double-page spread of what 2 pages it might be in that annual report. Now, what I have here are some of the pages that we've talked about frequently that you can go to get image graphics: Unsplash, Pexels, freeimages.com, and here's another one called Pixabay. And these are all sites where you can go to get images that you can use. Now, what I thought I would do right now is go ahead and design a double-page spread in Photoshop so you can kind of see how that might look. Now, when you did your catalog double-page spread, you did that in Illustrator, dropping in Photoshop images. But I'd like you to do this one completely in Photoshop, just so you can see the difference of working just specifically in this program. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up Photoshop. I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to create an 11 by 17, which is called a tabloid page, landscape view, so I can have 2 8.5 by 11 pages. So what I'll do is I'll go into Print. And by the way, if you guys are so inclined, you could follow along and do this on your computers too, and then you'd have, you know, you'd at least have the format all set up to do yours. Or you can just watch and ask questions if you like. So here we're in the print version of Photoshop, and I'm clicking on Tabloid, which once again is that 11 by 17 format. And then I'm going to come over here and click Orientation Landscape, which is this little icon right here, which makes the tabloid page go sideways, so there's 2 8.5 by 11s, right? I'm going to leave everything else as the defaults, because I already picked print, so it's going to be 300. It's going to be RGB color, which is fine. I can always change that later if I want. But I'm just going to hit Create, and then I'll get this page here. Now, one of the things you guys may not know about Photoshop is it has this default, what I call a sticky center, okay? And what I mean by that is, if you were going to take a guideline from the side here and drag it into the center of this page to try and get where 8.5 by 11 is, so you could cut this page in half, you know, you could click on your Move tool. You could make sure your rulers were showing by going to View, Show, and then Rulers, or actually just click on Rulers here and they'd show up. And then you could click on here and you could drag it out and you could find exactly where 8.5 by 11 is, and then you could let go, and then you'd have your guideline, right? But I'm going to undo that by doing Control or Command Z. The other thing you could do is if you just click on your ruler and start to drag a guideline across the page, Photoshop will automatically grab it and snap it to the center of the page. Now it's kind of subtle and you have to watch for it, but like if I drag this over here, you're gonna see right when I'm about 8.5 by 11, Photoshop's gonna grab it and snap it in place. You see that? I don't know if you can see it, but it just kind of went boom, like that. So you guys can try it too. And like I said, it's kind of subtle. Sometimes it's hard to detect that it does it, but if you try it, hopefully you'll have some luck. If not, you know, you can always just put it right there at 8.5 by 11. Okay, now, when you're thinking about designing a double page spread, keep in mind that the whole thing is your canvas. You know, you're not just designing the left page and the right page, but you're designing them in such a way that they interact with each other. And that means that you could do something like put a graphic over the background of both of them, kind of like Luke did with his guitar catalog, his music catalog. You know, he had that picture of the piano behind everything. So the first thing you have to decide is, you know, what is your corporate report going to be about? And then you would put that information on the cover. And then once inside, you know, well, what pages of the corporate report are we doing now? So when I do a demo like this, I usually try to get inspired by whatever images I find out there on the internet. So what I'm going to do is just go to my browser, and I'm just going to go to Unsplash. And I like Unsplash because they have really gorgeous photos. I mean, all the sites have decent photos, but this site is, I think it's professional photographers that do these, so they're very beautiful. So, you know, what I might do is I might just look on the front page here and try and see if I can find anything that's going to inspire me to do my corporate report about it, right? Well, here's some cool, you know, here's a cool sort of futuristic photo, so I could do something about some new technology. Or look at this, this is really cool. You know, we could talk about 3D holographic imagery. I mean, the corporate report could be about a company that's inventing this tool right here. And actually, I like that idea. I'm inspired by this, so I'm going to get it, right? So what I do is I click on it. It's a free download, and I can click here and decide what size I want, or I can just click download free, and I think it's just going to give me the big size, right? Now I notice that Samuel Rodriguez is the photographer, so I'm going to give them credit for this. And then I'll go into my downloads, I'll find the picture, and then I'll simply drag it into Photoshop and open it up in its own new window. So here it is, right? Now, one of the things that's really useful about Photoshop is all of your tabs up here are different images, and you can grab these tabs and pull them down off the main tab window, and that will allow you to move them around, but it also allow you to grab one picture and drag it on top of another to bring it into that picture. So if I click on this tab up here that says, you know, Samuel Rodriguez's photo, and I drag it straight down, then this photo just kind of floats around, right? Well, now what I can do is make sure I'm on my move tool, click on this photo, hold my mouse down, and simply drag it onto here, all right? And it's going to take that picture and add it onto my main composition. Now, you can tell that, you know, the photo is a lot bigger than this composition, so I want to zoom out. So on my computer, one of the easiest ways to zoom out is to hold down the Command or the Control key and hit the minus sign. So if I do that and zoom out a little bit, I can tell that my picture is way bigger than the space I have here. So if I want to see exactly how big it is, I can hold down the Control or the Command button and hit the letter T, as in transform. And what that's going to do, it's going to show me the transformation box, right? Which of course is the one used for scaling and rotation, right? Now, I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to where the edges of my 8.5 by 11 page are. And I'm certainly not going to go past that. So I have to pick what it's going to be. It's pretty close. In fact, if I kept dragging, it might be, you know, exactly or whatever. But it's close, but not exactly 8.5 by 11. But it's certainly good enough, right? Now, this is such a beautiful picture. And also, coincidentally, it's so wonderfully split into two halves, you know, the half with the hand and the half with the photo, that it just makes a beautiful double page spread. You know, I got really lucky with this photo, right? Also, it's very dark, which means that it makes it easier for me to put things like white text on top of it, right? Now, certain areas like this area over here are going to be really easy to put white text on. But other areas like this, you know, there's places where the color kind of drops out and the white might not read as well on this gray. And then there's this gray down here. What are we going to do down here? So, you know, you kind of have to try it out and see how it's going to work, right? Now, what I like to do is I like to name everything as soon as I make it. So if I make a layer that's going to be my background, I might name it BG or background. And another thing you can do, if you're pretty sure you have something in a location where you don't want to change it, you can use this little lock icon here to lock it in place, right? So I'm going to click on my background. I'm going to click on the lock icon, and now I can't grab this thing if I try. So I can't accidentally, you know, click on it and move it. It's in place, right? Okay, now the next thing I have to decide for this double page spread of my corporate report is what the hell we're talking about. And then that could be like a headline or something, right? So I'm probably going to make text, click on the type tool, probably change it so the foreground color is white. Click here, drag out a big text box, and now I have to come up with some kind of a headline, you know, that means that relates to this. So I could say, the first thing I might do is increase the size of my font so I can see like how big the text is going to be going across this. So up at the top of my screen, if I click on this little letter T and hold my mouse down and drag my mouse to the right, it's going to increase the size of the font, you know, so that it kind of fills up this window, right? Now you can see a couple things are going on with this text. For one thing, it's not, it's the text, the leading is all smushed together, right? All the words are smushed together. So I can open up my, my text box over here, which is this little A, right? And I can see that the font size is like 80 point, but the leading is 31 point. If I change the leading to auto, it's going to automatically make the leading what it should be for this text, right? So now I have something that looks a little better, right? Now I need a headline, right? So since this is a corporate report for a company that's making something, I can pretend that this is the company that makes this 3D makeup assistant, right? That's what I'm going to call it, 3D Holo. I'm going to call it the Holo Assistant, right? Because I have no better name in my head right now. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my caps lock, and I'm going to type Holo Assistant. And of course, I have all this other extra text, which is going to keep coming in. So I can open up my text box and try and get rid of all of that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my text box and close it back up. I'm going to grab the ends of my text box and drag them to the ends of the image so that this thing perfectly centers. And of course, I have my centering there. Now, it appears to me that in order for this to be a technology report from an annual report from a company that makes technology, this sort of Arial bold font is not interesting enough, right? We want something a little more interesting. So I'm going to go out to DaFont, and I'm going to, I won't spend a lot of time searching. Normally, I'm kind of a nutcase about this, but I like search forever and find the perfect font, I'm not going to subject you guys to that, but I'll try and find a good font. So here under Techno, you can look for square fonts, LCD fonts, sci-fi, or various. Well, my first gut instinct is to go for sci-fi because that's kind of the world we're in now. But I think I might do various just because who knows what I want? Maybe I won't know until I see it. Now, of course, it's a great idea to put in the actual text inside of your preview button. I always like to turn this thing up to 200 font choices and hit submit. Okay, and my taste is going to be very different from yours. You guys are going to see a font on here and go, that's it, that's the perfect font. Why did you roll by it, right? Who knows, right? Everybody's taste is a little different. I'm just going to get this one. Well, it looks like, no, it's called Pepsi. It looks like exactly like Pepsi. So no, that's not really going to work. Okay, how about this one? Quantum. That rocks my world. Okay. Holo Assistant. So I click download. Look at my downloads. Here it is, quantum4.zip. Double click on that. It's an OTF, which means open type format. And I just have to, on the Mac, I just have to double click it. On a PC, I'm not sure, maybe you drag it into a fonts folder or something. But now that font should be available inside of Photoshop. It's called Quantum, right? My little spinning cartwheel there, or whatever that is, pinwheel, is thinking about the font. So hopefully it'll think enough about it that when I get back into Photoshop, it'll be there for me. So okay, so now I can highlight this text. I can come up here to my text box. Well, it's still thinking. Eventually, with any luck, okay, here we go. I can put in the letter Q, and sure enough, there's quantum regular, right? Once again, I can click on my type here and make this bigger, right? And now I can use my arrow keys on my keyboard to move it down. Now, Photoshop is having a little bit of a thing here where it's thinking about things. Okay, I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard to move this down a little bit, right? And so, you know, I've got it there. It looks pretty good to me. I'm pretty happy with it, right? Now, the next thing I might do is I have to decide what type of information I'm trying to communicate here, right? So maybe I want to put in text that talks about all the different aspects of this technology, the cost, the features, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I'm going to start by making a few little text blocks around the edges here. And maybe I'm going to drop some icons in there. You know, obviously I don't have to fill in every little bit of text, but I can at least suss out the page and see what it looks like. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my font size up here at the top to something like 12 points. So that, oops, sorry, I still had that thing selected. Let me go to a new text box here and change it to 12 points. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little sort of pretend block of text. Okay, unfortunately, it's still in the Holocaust font, or the Holo Assistant font. I'm going to change this to back to Arial regular, and I'm also going to make it left aligned, and I'm also going to make it just slightly bigger because it feels like it might work better if it was a little bigger, right? Okay, so now I'm going to click on my selection tool, my arrow tool, and you know, have that little block there, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that works. That's a good block, right? I might at this point also think about the fact that since I'm doing a print production, there's always going to be a margin around the edge that I need to consider. So now would be a good time for me to do things like put in guidelines to be the margin of the page. So I might just grab my top ruler here, come down to about 1/4 of an inch. And notice also, you see how there's this little tool tippy thing, the black, a rectangle with a white in it, and see how it's changing numbers? I could go in here and I could go exactly to 0.25, or as close as I could get, and that's going to be exactly 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the page. Or I could go down here to 10.75, and that would be exactly 1/4 of an inch from the bottom of the page. Now, I may not get it exactly, but even if I'm at like 7.52, like that, it's pretty damn close. So same over here, 0.256 is close enough for my money. And then 16.75 is what I'm looking for over here. And that's, oop, I almost got it, and then I moved my hand. Okay, got to try it again. 16.75, there we go. Okay, so now I've got about 1/4 of an inch everywhere. And if I want to, I can use that as a guide for where I'm going to put my text, right? Because I know that it can line up with that, right? Now, since I know that I'm probably going to have about 4 text blocks on this page, I'm just kind of sussing this out, figuring it out. Now, I can replicate this text block and just drop it in, you know, another one below it, and then 2 on the right side, and then just format them correctly, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my layers palette, and you see I have this layer, which is the lorem ipsum text, right? Now, if I want to copy that whole layer, all I have to do is click on it and drag it down to this make a new layer button, and it will make a copy of it. You see right there, it says copy. Then I can click on it. I can start to drag it straight down, and then I can hold my shift key down. And when I do that, it's going to make an exact copy of it, and the shift key is going to keep it constrained into the same vertical plane. So it'll line up with that. Now I already have an idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little icon above each of these text blocks and then put a word in there, which is like the headline, you know, where we're talking about all these different components of the whole assistant, right? But I also want to get 2 of these text blocks and put them on the other side. And the easiest way for me to do that is to just copy these 2, drag them over, right? So I'm simply going to click on the top one, hold down my shift key, and click on the second one, the second layer I'm talking about. So now I have 2 layers. It's called shift clicking when you click one thing and then click another, right? Now I'm going to grab both those layers and drag them on top of the make new layer icon, right? So now I've got 2 extra layers and they're still selected, which means I can click on them over here, start to drag them across, and then as I drag them, hold down my shift key and drag them all the way over here, right? Now that's going to keep them, when you hold down your shift key and you're moving things, it keeps it in the same either vertical or horizontal line, right? Or plane. Now, Luke Cottrell, you were asking before, like, you know, what's an example of when you would use these different alignments, right? Well, this is the perfect example for when you would use right alignment, right? You would highlight this, go up to right alignment, and you could see how that just kind of defines the edge of the page, right? You don't have to do it that way, but it's something that I think looks pretty good. And so I think a number of designers would do it that way. Okay, so there I am. I've got all that, right? Now, one thing that I want to do before I forget is I want to give this guy his photo credit. And let's see, I've got all these crazy, yeah, I'm that guy that has like 30 million things. You guys know that already. Remember this guy's name, Samuel Rodriguez, right?
You're not
So
the
what I'm
only
gonna
one who
do
has all the
is-
tabs open.
What's that?
You're not the only one who has like a million tabs
Oh,
open and
thank
can't find
God, thank
anything.
God. How many do you have open right now, Kim?
I don't know. On like my internet alone, like 10 on just the one that I'm on.
Okay, that's a lot.
Oh, I've had 53 open before.
Wow. I know this is terrible and this is not the advice I would give you guys. I misspelled Samuel there. But I always, I basically work my computer to death and then restart it. I know it's terrible advice. And I think that's how you spell his name. Let me check it one more time. Is it E-L? Let's see. Yeah, E-L, okay. Rodriguez, yeah, I got it, okay. So, and I can take this, this photo credit and I can make it pretty small. It just needs to be on there somewhere, you know. Somewhere that makes sense, you know. So it can be down here in the corner. It can be wherever you want it to be, right? Okay. So I'm pretty happy with what's happening so far with this. Now I need my icons and I need my, you know, my text. And of course, you know, you guys know this, but you don't have to do anything like what I'm doing. You can do whatever your creativity dictates. I'm just showing an example, right? Okay, so I'm going to work backwards from my icons. So in other words, I'm going to go find whatever icons I can that I like, and then I'm going to name these sections based on the icons. So of course, I'm going to go to my favorite website for vector stuff, which is Vecteezy. And I'm going to do something like technology icons. And I'm going to find all these crazy icons. I mean, we could look all day through this stuff, but I'm not going to spend that kind of time. But I just want something that's kind of in the little silhouette-y world of things. So I'm looking for something that gives me at least 4 choices. I'll just take this first one because I think it works at least decently, right? So I'm going to download this. Of course, this means I'm going to be, I have the choice to work in either Illustrator or Photoshop when I download icons like this, because normally they give it to you as JPEGs and EPSs and stuff. I like to open this stuff in Illustrator because I feel like it gives me more options, and then just take it over to paste it into Photoshop, right? So I told it to open an Illustrator, and I don't know what it's doing. It's either, my computer is probably pretty slammed right now. Maybe that's not the best idea. Maybe I'll try, oh wait, there it is. It's just taking its sweet time because, of course, because I have 37 million things open. Let me try just pulling the JPEG into Photoshop so I can do this in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, here we go. So now we've got all of the icons, and they're black on white, and I want them to be the reverse. I want them to be white so they can be on that black background. Now, one quick trick that you can do is Photoshop has what's called an invert command, which will take whatever colors you have and turn them to the opposite, right? Now, there's something that I noticed, though, before I do that, and I noticed this because it's kind of messed with me before. This color is not really black. It's like a gray, all right? And that's going to mess me up. If I want to say this is black and white, and I want to use Photoshop's inverse and switch the white and black, the gray is going to mess me up. So the first thing I have to do is make this thing darker, right? Now you can do that under image adjustments. You can go to something called brightness contrast, right? In brightness contrast, you're going to get the ability to, with these sliders down here, to brighten or darken your image, right? You can do that like this, brighten or darken your image. And you can lower the contrast or up the contrast. Upping the contrast is going to make more stark the division between black and white, right? Now, most of the things that I see about using brightness contrast say to slightly lower your brightness and then boost your contrast all the way up. And you can see via this preview button how that's taken this color from just a nasty, not quite black gray to black. And at the same time, it's changed the white to a little higher level of white too. So I'm going to do that. And now I have it's much more of a black and a white, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to do, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but I'm thinking ahead about what I want to create, is I'm going to try and delete the white off this page, because I don't want this white background. I want these icons in white, but I'm going to have to get rid of all this white first. So first thing I'm going to do is click on my selection tool over here. I'm going to click on my magic wand tool, which is up here in the toolbox, and I'm going to click in the white area, right? And it selects all the white sort of surrounding everything. And then I'm going to hit the delete button. Now, I'm just going to change it to say show the white behind it or whatever. One of the things that I forgot to do was take off this lock icon on my page. When you have the lock icon on your page and you try to delete something, it says, well, what do you want to put in there? But if you if you click on the lock icon and turn it off, and then you hit delete, it just deletes everything and turns it into transparency, which is what I wanted, right? Now, I can deselect everything by going select, deselect, and now I can change these things to the icons. Now, let me see if there's any questions here at this point. Okay. Let me know if you have a question. All right. So, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try that inverse technique to see if I can change these to white, right? Another thing I might do is delete the white inside of these icons because maybe I just don't want it at all, right? And the way I can do that is select the white inside of an icon and then say select similar. Select similar is going to select all the white all over the page, and if I hit delete, then it's all gone, right? Now, okay, so now I have a page which has a transparent back and black icons on it, and I want them all to be white. Now, there's two ways that I know of that I can quickly change these to white. One is that inverse command, which I'll show you, and the other is inside of the layers, I can just do a color overlay. But let's see how the inverse command works. So I'm going to select everything, select all. I'm going to go under image, adjustments, and then hit invert. And what it does, you see how it turned everything this nasty layer of gray? maybe you guys can't see that too easily. Let me put a layer of white behind this so you can see what it looks like. So see, my black wasn't quite black enough, so it didn't make it perfectly white. So I was still suffering from that issue that I mentioned before, right? Which is that this thing wasn't dark enough to really give me what I wanted. So I think I'm going to go to method number 2, which is just use Photoshop's color overlay ability to change these to white once I get them into my other document, right? So that means that I'm done here. I've isolated these. I've taken out all the white, so all I have is the black, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this tab here, which is this icon sheet, and I'm going to drag it off of the Photoshop bar at the top. And now I'm just going to pick my individual icons and drag them onto the screen here, right? So I'll click my selection tool, my marquee selection tool there, the rectangle, and I'll just say, let's see, I like this one. I'm going to click on my move tool, and I'm going to drag this one over here onto the page, right? Now that comes onto the page right here, but it's nearly impossible to see it because it's black. So here's the second method I told you about. Come down here to FX, come down here to what says color overlay, and then change the color overlay to white and hit OK. Okay, now I can see that my little icon is basically this little guy right here, right? And I can drag that over here, and that can be the icon for the first, headline that I want, right? And I can go ahead and just type something right now. I know I'm probably going to want this to be all caps. I'm going to want to use the same font, but this time I'll say Arial bold. And I'll say something like innovation. They always use these big, fancy $5 words with these corporate reports. Okay. Innovation. I can highlight all that, click on my type tool up here again. I notice the number that I got up here, which is 22. That's the number I'm stopping at, and I like that number. So I'm going to use that for everything, right? For all these. So boom, there's my first icon, right? Now I can go to that other window again, which is going to be at the bottom of my screen. And this time maybe I'll try and grab several icons at once and bring them over. So let's see. I only need 3 more. So I'm going to get this universal power icon. I'll get the Wi-Fi icon. I'm just holding my shift key down, and I'll get the cloud icon. I'm holding my shift key down while I use this marquee tool. And by holding the shift key down, I'm adding to the selection every time I make a new selection, right? Okay, now I've got 3 items selected. I can click on my move tool, click on any of these items and drag it over to my other page. And you can see the icons came in right there, right? Now, once again, I go to color overlay. It's already set to white. And so there's my 3 new icons, right? Now I can just click on my marquee tool here, my selection tool, grab each one of these icons and just move it over to its destination, which is going to be, one of them is going to live over here by this block of text. This one I'll take over here. And of course, I'll put it in front, even though this text is backwards from this, I'll still put the icon at the front because I'm trying to be consistent. And finally, I'll grab my little Wi-Fi signal here and drag it down here and put it here. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to copy this innovation text, and I want to put it in each of these locations and put in a new word there. So I'm gonna click on innovation. I'm gonna drag it down to my copy layer thing. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna hold my shift key down as I drag it down and bring it down to here. And I'll say something like, let's see. I'm just going to use the word ether, referring to, the sort of ether of the internet, stuff that's out there that we, that's kind of like cloud computing, so to speak, right? Okay, I'm going to click on innovation again. I'm going to copy that again, click on it, drag it over here. I'm going to come up with a new word. Oops. looks like that one disappeared a little bit. Let me try again. Okay, innovation. I think I let go of it a little early and then it didn't stay over there. So this one is going to be strength, which is inspired by the fact that that's a little power symbol. And so I'll use my arrow keys. Oh, and I misspelled that one too. Got to get another E in there. Strength, okay. And then I'll use my little arrow keys to put that in the right position. And then once again, I'll click on ether here, drag that down so that there's a copy of that. Click on it, hold my shift key down and pull it over here. And let's just say voice. We'll just say voice, okay. All right, now these words and these icons don't really mean anything, but they look pretty. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like I put some thought into this and I laid it out and it has meanings and it applies to this photo here and everything. So, you know, I'm well on my way to designing this double page spread. And I can do more. I can put more photos in. I can use special effects. I can blend layers together. I can use transparencies. I could introduce color into this. You remember the 10 tips for layout and design that we looked at earlier in the class. You know, one of the things they said is, you know, use high contrast, right? So I might look at this black and white photo and think of this as a perfect opportunity to add some high contrast color. And this is the last thing I'll do, and then I'll give you guys some time to work. I'm thinking this arm is the perfect place to add some color because it's supposed to be a hologram, right? So if I added some sort of otherworldly color like a blue or an orange that's a little light onto that, it might work out really well for me, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my background layer and click on the lock to unlock that so that I can just be on that layer. I'm going to use my zoom tool, my magnifying glass to zoom in. Now I want to select this arm. So I get a choice of what selection tools I get to use. I'm going to try the magnetic lasso tool because I think that might work really well with grabbing the edge of the arm. So I'm going to click on the magnetic lasso tool. I'm just going to drag it across the arm, and I can tell you in advance it's not going to be a perfect selection, right? But I'll just basically grab it and drag it right along the edge of the arm. And it's not a perfect selection, but I suspected it would be pretty good, and it is damn good. It does a really good job. And then when I'm done, I'll double click. Now you can see I pretty much got the arm, you know, pretty good job. A couple places that I want to change, like right here, it jumped up a little bit. So I'm going to go to my lasso tool. I'm going to hold down my Alt key or my Option key on the Mac, and I'm going to lasso the part that I don't want, right? And then I'm going to go down here and I'm going to be like, well, what do I do here? There's this brush. Well, I definitely don't want the brush, so I guess I better go in here and find a way to deselect whatever could clearly be identified as the brush, right? And then finally, the last thing that I might do, I noticed that there's this, there's this area down here where the arm kind of goes in kind of an unnatural manner. It looks like it's supposed to do that, but it still looks kind of weird to me. So this time I'll hold my Shift key down and circle this part to show that I want to add this to my selection, right? And the Alt or Option key to get rid of something that I don't want. Okay, so now I have a selection of just the arm. Now, here's where you can start to experiment and have a little fun, right? So, actually, hold on a second. It looks like for some reason I missed the fact that I got this whole big chunk of metal here that I didn't want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back in, reselect this with my Alt key down or my Option key and say, look, I don't want this. This is the brush. I'm not going to change the color of this. I just want to change the color of the hand. Okay. All right, so here we go. So now this is where you can start to have a little fun, right? We have a selection and we want to give ourselves, like painters, we want to give ourselves the ability to try different colors, to try different painting techniques and stuff like that. In order to do that, you want to save this selection so that you can try things repeatedly over and over, right? And that's a really simple process. You go up here to the select drop down at the top, and you come down here and you click on Save Selection, right? It's going to bring up this little dialog box. And you can call this whatever you want. You know, ARM is the natural thing, right? And now that that's selected, I can click anywhere on my screen and deselect it. And then when I want to bring the selection back, I go Select Load Selection. I click on this drop-down menu and I choose the name of my selection, and boom, it brings it back, right? Now what's nice about this is I can try different colors and different techniques, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to make a new layer right here on top of my background layer, and I'm just going to fill it with like a light blue color. And I'm just going to go Edit Fill, and I'm just going to fill it with the foreground color, which is the blue that I picked. And of course, we're not going to see the hand anymore because I've filled it with that, right? But now what I can do is I can try these things called blending modes. So I can click up here at the top of my layer palette. And what I do is I just go one at a time and I try these different blending modes. So let me go ahead and zoom in on this so you can see the effect each one has. And I'm also going to turn off my, my guidelines by holding down my control or my command key and hitting the semicolon. So that's out of the way, right? Now check this out. If I use my blending modes, I can try each one at a time until I get one that really, you know, brings in the idea of, you know, sort of a holographic image or something like that. Like you can see Screen and Lighten kind of do something cool, right? Color Dodge definitely looks sort of holographic. And, you know, like I said, if it were me, I'd spend far too much time playing around with this stuff, trying to get something that was just perfect, right? But let me just pick one that I think looks semi-decent. You know, it's not going to be the perfect one or whatever, but it might be just good enough to pull this off. Okay, overlay works for me, all right? So now what I'm going to do, I can turn my selection off by going Select, Deselect, right? Now I've got my little selection in there. Now, of course, I could go back in and all the little places where it wasn't perfect, you can see this blue sticking out. I could go in there with a little eraser and erase that stuff. I'm not going to bother with that right now. But, you know, here we have it. Here's the sort of final demo. And you can see that, you know, I've accomplished a number of things. I have a double page spread. I got inspired by a really great photo and I used that. I credited the photographer in the corner. I found an interesting font out of many choices at DaFont that kind of fit the theme, which is technology. I put in text blocks here, which are placeholders for the actual text. I put in my, you know, my center guideline to show me the two different pages, and then the margin guidelines around the edge, right? I grabbed these little icons here from Vecteezy and put them in and just put some sort of placeholder text in there to show where the headlines might be or something like that. And then, of course, the last thing was I thought about that article we'd read together and put in a block of color to create that high contrast, right? And so there you go. So, you know, that's just an example. Once again, you guys can do whatever you want and have fun with it and do something interesting. And then, of course, tie this double page spread to whatever it is you put on the 8.5 by 11 cover of the corporate report, you know? Okay, questions or comments?
No, that was good.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a block of time here to work on this, or not necessarily this, but to work on wherever you are, whatever projects you're at. Go ahead and work on stuff. I'll be here. I'll turn my video off, but I'll still be here. Just ask your question if you have it and I'll help you. And then I'll check back in with you guys near the end of class so we can talk about things. Okay, sound good? Okay, go ahead and work on some of this stuff.
So Greg, we're starting on InDesign tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey Greg, I have a question.
Yes, Yi.
What is a rasterized layer?
What about rasterization?
What does that mean? Like I know that I couldn't edit some of the files because I have to rasterize layer before I edit it, and I don't know what does that mean.
Okay, I'll tell you what that means. So the rasterization is the process of taking vector graphics and turning them into pixel graphics. All right.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, let me see if I can get that same choice to appear here. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so see how I have this text layer highlighted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Photoshop, even though it's a pixel-based program, it also has the ability to do vector art as well. And all fonts in Photoshop are vector. And the reason they're vector is because vector lines are super clean, and so the text looks really good, right? Now,
okay.
If you wanted to do something like, say, fill a font with a gradient or something like that, you might not be able to do it while it was vector, but if you turned it into an image, in other words, if you rasterized it, which is turning it from vector lines into pixel dots, then you might be able to fill it with a color, right? So
Okay.
let me take the headline here, which is Holo Assistant. I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to turn off the other one, and then I'm going to take this one right here. Now I'm going to rasterize it, right? So I'm going to go right-click, rasterize type. Now, what I want you to notice is this no longer has the little t to indicate that this is text anymore, because it's not. Now it's merely an image.
Ah, I see now.
Now, if I select the whole thing, you know, and now I have the text selected. If I want to fill that with a gradient, I can, because it's now an image and not a font.
I see. So for example, if I want to mess with the text itself, I can change it from vector to pixel and then edit with whatever my key tool or quick selection. I can do that too, right? For example,
Yeah. Yeah, and what I recommend you do is what I did here, which is make a copy of it first so that you keep the original text base so that you can go back to it if you need to.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm making another funny one for you guys.
Well, of course you are, Yi. I like your sense of humor. It's funny.
Oh, thank you. I try my best to produce something funny, I guess.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, if you got to do this stuff anyway, you might as well have fun with it, right?
Yeah, I actually have fun with it. Like
That's
for
good.
example, like trying to draw and stuff like that. I couldn't really draw with my mouse, so it's kind of hard. So I just changed my perspective on it. Just find like a meme. I
Okay.
read a lot of memes, so I just try to make some of those or get inspiration from that.
That sounds great. I'm looking forward to your next project.
Thanks.
So, question. So is this similar to the catalog where it has to be like a 2-page thing?
Like a 2-stage thing? You mean this project right here?
Yeah, is it like a 2-page?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, this is a double-page spread. So each page is 8.5 by 11. So if you go into Photoshop and you say File New, and you click on Print, and you click on Tabloid, and then you click on Landscape.
11 by 17?
Yeah. And you click on Landscape, it's going to go ahead and make a page which is equivalent to two 8.5 by 11s. And then you can just grab your ruler and drag a guideline over here.
Okay. And I just need to think of what to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got another question, Greg.
Yeah.
So for example, if I work on Photoshop and let's say I crop an image out and I want to move it to Illustrator, can I just I don't think I can just copy paste, right?
Well, the best way to move, I mean, you may be able to, but the best way to move images from Photoshop to Illustrator is to save them, usually something like a PNG file.
Okay.
and then place it in Illustrator. So for example, you know, I make this cool little swirl or whatever that I want to put in Illustrator, right? So, but I just want that blue swirl, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the white in my image. I'm going to say select similar. So it gets all the white inside, and then I'm going to hit delete. And now I just have the blue, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to crop this image down to just the blue swirl. So I'm gonna draw a marquee around it and say image crop. Okay, now I'm gonna save this thing as a PNG file, which of course preserves transparency. So I'll say quick export, you know, export, quick export is ping. I'll go to my desktop and I'll call this swirl. Okay, and then I'll go over to Illustrator and I'll simply go file, place. And then all I have to do is find my swirl file and place it in there.
Okay, because I know that you can copy Illustrator to Photoshop, but not the other way around.
Well, you can in some cases. Let's try that after I do this. I just haven't found that it works as well as the place command. Do you see how good this looks?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, so let's try it the other way. It may work just fine, but I don't know. I've had issues with it in the past. Okay, so here we go. Select all, edit, copy. Now we're just going to go in Illustrator and paste it. Edit, paste. Okay.
Oh, it works for you.
It does work, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know. For me, in the past, like I said, I've noticed a drop in quality, but you might not notice it, and it might be just fine for you.
Okay, thank you. I just want to know.
Okay.
Question, Greg. So what topics does it have to be?
What topic? What's the question again, Adrian?
What does it have to be of?
Your audio's dropping out.
What does it have to be of? Does it have to be like just technology or?
No. It can be any topic that you want. So you could do it about fashion, or you could do it about music, or you could do it about farm animals, whatever you want. And don't forget that this project, not only are you doing the double page spread, but you're also doing an 8.5 by 11 cover of the report.
So it's like 3 things I need to do.
Well, it's actually 2 things, a double page spread and the cover.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.